Didn't I warn you not to leave your rooms after PM? It was just a question, but Tuyet and Thinh felt it was a judgment, a condemnation for those who disobeyed. If you don't listen, you must face the consequences. Now, you will pay the price for ignoring my warning. In a moment of horror, the monk suddenly transformed into a monstrous and terrifying entity. Horrifying haunting in the haunted pagoda. Chapter 3. In the darkness of the pagoda, all hope seemed to vanish, leaving only ceaseless fear and anxiety. Tuyet and Thinh felt terrified as they faced the eerie existence of the spirits within the pagoda. They encountered lost souls, ghosts seeking liberation. The two decided to flee from the terrifying spirits emerging from the surrounding trees. They ran through the darkened groves, over thick grass, escaping the lurking images of death from all sides. Each step was a constant struggle, accompanied by the chaotic sounds of roars and ghostly laughter from the surrounding darkness. Driven by the fear of being pursued, they ran as fast as they could, hoping to find a way out of the haunted pagoda's clutches. Breathless and exhausted, they could not afford to stop. They knew that every passing second was a chance for survival, and they were determined not to become the next victims of the pagoda's evil spirits. Spotting a dim light in the distance, Tuyet and Thinh recognized it as the shrine where the pagoda's deities were worshipped. Filled with hope and joy, they hurried towards it, seeking refuge in their faith to ward off the menacing spirits and demons. Upon entering the shrine, the light from the oil lamps provided comfort, and they felt a sacred and peaceful aura. They knelt before the altar, praying for health and protection from the dangerous supernatural forces chasing them. They felt fortunate to find stability and protection within the pagoda shrine. Kneeling before the deity statues with gratitude and reverence, they prayed fervently. However, as they prayed, the statues began to transform into frightening and ferocious forms. The deity's statues bled, their eyes glowed with fiery red light, and their faces contorted into demonic visages. The once serene statues that had been the focus of their prayers and faith now morphed into terrifying shapes, their skin wrinkled like that of venomous snakes, their eyes reflecting hellish flames, and their mouths opening to reveal sharp, sword-like teeth, with fresh blood pouring out, creating an unimaginable and horrifying image. This terrifying transformation left Tuyet and Thinh in uncontrollable fear. They screamed in horror and ran out, feeling as if they were sinking deeper into an increasingly dreadful nightmare. As they fled the shrine, the ghastly sight of the deity statues remained etched in their minds, haunting them with the memory of what they had witnessed. It was a horrifying and terrifying experience, a memory they would carry for life. Stepping out of the shrine, Tuyet and Thinh encountered a lone monk standing in the corridor. His figure appeared strange, but they were too frightened to notice. Overjoyed to see a living person in the ghost-filled pagoda, they spoke in relief and fear. "Master, we have just encountered strange and terrifying things," Tuyet said, trembling. "Ghosts are lurking everywhere, even in the shrine, Master. It's terrifying," Thinh added. Upon hearing this, the monk's eyes suddenly glowed red in the darkness, and his face became hauntingly cold. Tuyet and Thinh felt a chill run through their bodies as they faced the monk, who no longer appeared friendly or harmonious. His face now exuded a menacing aura. His eerie and terrifying presence captivated them. "We need to leave immediately," Tuyet said, her voice trembling. But before they could react, the monk spoke with a chilling and mocking tone. "Didn't I warn you not to leave your rooms after PM? It was just a question, but Tuyet and Thinh felt it was a judgment, a condemnation for those who disobeyed. The oil lamp went out. Tuyet stammered in fear. "We came to seek your help," and added, his voice shaking. But the monk only laughed maliciously and replied, "If you don't listen, you must face the consequences. Now, you will pay the price for ignoring my warning." In a moment of horror, the monk suddenly transformed into a monstrous and terrifying entity. He began a dreadful chase through the dark pagoda, forcing Thinh and Tuyet to run for their lives. The dim lantern lights only heightened the horror of the scene. The monk's evil laughter echoed through the corridors, like sharp blades cutting into their minds. They could feel the heavy breath of the monk closing in behind them. They knew they were sinking deeper into a hopeless fear, with despair engulfing every breath. The monk's wicked laughter sent shivers down their spines, making their hair stand on end.